Okay, in this video, we're going to take a look at how to connect the hand to the rest of the IKFK setup. First thing I want to do is go ahead and take the hand joint here that we have. Let's expand this. And what I want to do is start off by taking the joints from there and connecting it to the joints from the hand. So we have to select the target first, and then the object to be constrained, which is going to be the palm. Constrain, parent, option box. These settings are fine, just maintain offsets. Apply. There we go. Let's see if I can maybe move this up to be a little bit closer. Okay, so then I could go to the middle, and I'm just going to push G to repeat the previous action. Middle 2, middle 3, middle 4. Oops, I deselected the other joint, so I just forgot to hold down Control. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this for the whole hand, and I'll pause the video here so that way you guys don't have to watch all that, but I'm just going to be repeating that whole process and making sure that I have the correct name selected. So index 1, and then G to parent, and I'm going to repeat that over and over for the whole rest of the hand. Okay, so the hand is all connected now, so if we check this out, we should have all of the rotations. I've already checked all of the controls to make sure it's working properly. But you'd want to make sure that you go through and test each control individually and make sure that it is rotating the joints that you're expecting, just to double check everything. Okay, so now we need to connect this whole hand here. The palm. We have the palm there. There's an issue with that, and we'll fix it in a moment, but we want to make sure that this moves together with the IK and the FK. There is a little bit of an issue with this wrist rotation, so we'll fix that as well. So let's go to each one of the wrists. So what I'm going to do to be able to select it easier is separate it here. Select both the IK and the FK wrist. Push F to find them on the outliner. And then we have wrist and wrist here, so we can work with it. So let's go ahead and put this to 0. So that way it's all aligned. And then the IK wrist has a connection coming in, but it is going to cause flipping. So let's break connections here. Make sure this is all set to 0. Should line up. This is at 0 here too. And we're just going to build an orient constraint. So I'm going to select the control as a target, then go to the IK wrist. And let's reset the settings on the orient constraint. We're doing all of it in XYZ. Apply. Oops. I need to have the control as target and then the wrist. Let's try that again. There we go. The settings should keep it at 0. So let's see if we do maintain offsets and apply. There we go. I like that better. So that way it's keeping the same settings for the wrist. Okay, so now we have this control, which should, in theory, move everything. We've locked all the channels here on the hand, but we should have the 0 group, which we can still move. You can see that the joint isn't moving with it. And if we select the palm joint really quick, I don't have any connections coming into that. So what I want to do is select that offset group for the palm or the hand. There, select that offset group as the target, and then the object to be constrained is going to be the palm. And then we're going to do a parent constraint, so constraint, parent. This is all fine. Apply. So now if we select that hand group, it should all move with it. That is great. Now we need to build a connection that will make sure that it will follow either this wrist joint or this wrist joint. So what we want to do is select the 2 wrists. So it's going to start off with the IK, then the FK wrist, followed by the 0 group for the hand. And then we're going to go to constraint, parent, option box, maintain offset, apply. Great. So now if we pull this apart, it's mostly okay as long as we're not past that. It's going to have some occasional issues with flipping when you're working with this. If it gets into a weird situation, if it has like gimbal lock or something like that. But usually you can kind of position it slightly differently so that way it doesn't flip when you're transitioning between the two. But also if you just animate it where it just jumps from one to the other, that will be fine. Or you can kind of in between animate and make sure that it doesn't flip for you. But for the most part, it doesn't become an issue. So let's turn on the, connect this to the IK-FK switch, because right now the IK-FK switch is set at 0.5, but if we put it at 0.1, this still stays in the middle. Or not 0.1, but at 1, or if we go to 0, it always stays at the middle. So we want to make sure that the constraint that we built here on the hand is connected to this. So let's go to the connection editor. It's under Windows, General Editor, and Connection Editor. We're going to be connecting the IK-FK, and we're going to be connecting that to the blend. The original setting here is just going to go straight to the wrist. That is fine. And then this one we can't do a direct connection because it's kind of inverse the values, so we're going to be doing a set driven key. So it's like that. That's going to be the driver. Set driven key under key in the animation menu set. Option box. So driven, actually we want that to be the driver. So we go here. And then the driven is going to be the constraint. So select the parent constraint, load that as driven. So let's set this value here to 1. So it should be with the IK. And then here, or sorry, the FK. Let's put this at 0. And then select the IK and the IK-FK blend key. Then here we can set this to 0. And then go here. We should set this to 1 now, and the wrist IK weights, and then key. And then now, if we go to the hand, we should be able to blend between the two. There we go. So we have an IK-FK blend. Zero that out. And we can go between the hand and the IK arm, the FK arm, and we can animate both, and there shouldn't be any issue. Ooh. Oh, because I'm set to IK. So if we go to FK, it goes there. Great. So that looks good. In the next lesson, we'll go through and clean up some things so that way we only see the controls when they are actually visible when you're wanting to animate them. So if it's in between for both the IK and FK, so if it's not at 0 or 1, we're going to want to make sure that both controls are visible. When it's set to IK, we only want the IK controls visible, and when it's set to FK, we only want the FK controls visible. And then we always want to be able to see the hand controls. Maybe later on we can add some controls where we can show the finger controls on or off. And then we can add some other constraints so that way we can control the animation of the hand with sliders. So that is where we are going to leave it for right now. And we will see you guys in the next video.